Giacomo Casanova was clapping cheeks from Venice to Moscow. But the insane part is, his legendary success wasn't about his looks, his money, or some magical pickup line. It was based on one secret obsession that made women addicted to his presence. Forget everything you think you know about seduction. Today, you're getting the 5-step Casanova playbook he used to turn a simple conversation into an unforgettable adventure, making any woman the willing main character in a story that could only end in his bed. First up, the foundation of the entire system. Technique number 1, the unspoken desire map. Normal guys show up and try to impress. They talk about themselves, they peacock, they perform. Casanova did the exact opposite. He became a detective of her soul. The psychological function here is to stop being a salesman and start being a diagnostician. You listen to her complaints, you observe what bores her, you identify the one deep, burning, unmet desire in her life. And then you become the one man on earth who can provide it. So get this. Casanova sets his sights on a beautiful senator's wife. She's rich, she's respected, but she's bored out of her skull, married to a man who only talks about politics and religion. Every other suitor tries to flatter her looks. It's white noise. What does Casanova do? He doesn't say a word about her beauty. He learns she's secretly fascinated by forbidden science and philosophy. So he shows up to a party, and in the middle of all the stale gossip, he corners her. He doesn't flirt. He asks her what she thinks about Newton's theories on gravity and light. He treats her like a fellow intellectual trapped in a world of idiots. Her eyes, for the first time all night, light up. He isn't trying to get in her pants. He's trying to get inside her mind. He's speaking the one language she's desperate to hear, and once you've unlocked her mind, the rest of her follows. That night, she wasn't just reading philosophy, she was getting a practical lesson in human anatomy. Once you've mapped her desire, you need to make your meeting feel like destiny. That brings us to technique number 2, the alchemical reframe. This is where Casanova brought in his famous showmanship. The psychological principle is to take a mundane, random event and frame it as something fated, magical, or cosmic. You elevate the interaction from a simple meeting to a chapter in a grand, pre-written story. It creates a sense of inevitability that bypasses her logic. Picture this. He's at a masquerade ball talking to a young woman, a guest from Florence. She's intrigued but hesitant. As she gestures with her fan, she accidentally knocks over a glass of red wine. It splashes across the white marble floor. Disaster, right? Awkward. Her friends rush to help, but Casanova holds up a hand. He kneels down, stares intensely at the puddle, and a slow smirk spreads across his face. He looks up at her, his eyes burning. "In ancient Rome," he says, his voice low and conspiratorial, "a spill of wine before a new venture was the greatest omen of success. The gods have just toasted our meeting." Boom. It's no longer an accident. It's a prophecy. He's not just a guy at a party. He's a mystic interpreting the will of the universe. He's turned a clumsy moment into a piece of theater starring the two of them. She's not just a tourist anymore. She's a woman of destiny. And that night, he showed her exactly how he planned to interpret the rest of that prophecy's text. Now that she feels like this is destined, you need to make her a willing accomplice in the adventure. This is technique number 3, the miniature conspiracy. The psychological function here is brutally effective. You create an instantaneous us-against-the-world bond by recruiting her as a partner in a small, thrilling, secret scheme. She's no longer a passive target you're trying to win over. She's your partner in crime. So imagine this. Casanova wants to seduce a certain countess, but she is always surrounded by her hyper-vigilant aunt. Direct approach is impossible, so what does he do? He accidentally drops a sealed letter near the countess. She picks it up. It's addressed to a rival of her aunt. Later, Casanova finds her alone and begs for her help. He claims the letter contains damaging information, and he needs to switch it with a harmless decoy before the aunt finds it. He needs her to create a distraction at exactly the right moment. Suddenly, she's not just a woman at a villa. She's a spy. Her heart is pounding. The two of them are exchanging secret glances across the ballroom, planning their move. It's a tiny, meaningless plot, but it's their plot. They are bonded by a shared secret, a shared risk. The thrill of the conspiracy becomes intertwined with the thrill of him. After they pull it off, the victory isn't just about the letter, it's about them. The celebration for a successful heist was held in her private chambers. So you've created destiny, you've made her your co-conspirator, but you're still an outsider. To truly dominate, you need technique number 4, the ecosystem infiltration. Amateurs try to isolate the target. The master makes himself indispensable to her entire world. The psychology is simple. You neutralize all obstacles and create a network of allies who advocate for you even when you're not there. You don't just seduce her, you seduce her reality. Here's the master at work. He's after the wife of a wealthy but dull merchant. Instead of trying to steal her away for secret meetings, Casanova does the opposite. He seeks out the husband. He learns the husband is obsessed with a rare type of tulip bulb. Casanova, using his vast network, acquires these bulbs as a gift of friendship. He becomes the husband's most trusted confidant. He plays cards with him, listens to his boring stories, and gives him advice. At the same time, he's charming the woman's mother, discussing poetry with her. He even helps her younger brother with a small debt. Within a month, he's not a threat. He's a beloved family friend. The husband himself is inviting him over for dinner every night. He's created a situation where being alone with the wife isn't suspicious. It's inevitable. He didn't break into the castle walls. He was handed the keys by the king himself. And once you have the keys to the estate, you can explore any room you wish. Now, these 4 techniques are immensely powerful. They can get you into almost any woman's bed, but they can also blow up in your face and ruin your reputation forever. And that's why the first 4 steps are completely useless without the final, most important part of the playbook. This isn't just a technique, it's the master key that made Casanova a legend instead of just another lecher. This is technique number 5, the legendary epilogue. Anyone can have a one-night stand. A master builds a legacy. The psychological principle here is the ultimate counterintuitive power move. You must end the affair on a high note, and whenever possible, leave the woman better off than you found her. You don't ghost. You don't create drama. You write a beautiful final chapter. This is what separated Casanova from everyone. Get this, he has a passionate, months-long affair with a woman named C.C. He could have just left town, as most men would. But that's not the play. He sees that her reputation is at risk. So what does he do? He uses his connections to find her a respectable, wealthy husband. He secretly pays off some of her family's debts. He orchestrates a chance meeting between C.C. and her new suitor. He then bows out gracefully, framing his departure as a noble sacrifice for her own happiness and security. He doesn't just leave. He ascends. In her mind and in the mind of society, he wasn't a scoundrel who used her. He was a magical catalyst who transformed her life for the better. He turned a sordid affair into a beautiful, bittersweet memory. He wasn't just a lover. He became her favorite story. And that's the ultimate payoff, because when you do that, you don't just get the girl. You get a reputation that does all the work for you. You don't just close the book, you make sure the story they tell is a legend.